Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
If we just stop the animal raising practices and turn instead to growing organic vegan food for humans, everyone in the world will benefit. They will have a better future, a better conscience, and our planet will have a bright future. If everyone turned to organic vegan diet and organic vegan farming.
Regenerative farming, restoring the soil and saving the planet, part 2 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Making war? Ah, no wonder you are looking uglier each day.
Hola, thoughtful viewers. That means hi in Spanish, one of the official languages of Peru. I'm Tomás. The caring people of Peru are thankful to the world's organic vegan farmers who grow a variety of organic produce for us to enjoy while keeping the soil healthy, thus ensuring a health-giving earth. May world vegan world peace soon be realized. Welcome to the concluding episode of Regenerative Farming, restoring the soil and saving the planet. Conventional agriculture, including the raising of billions of land-animal people for so-called food, is destroying the Earth's soils.
Imagine the country you live in being hit by less and less fertile soil, making crop growing increasingly difficult.
Sandstorm conditions prevail in the Indian capital, and now there are fears of early desertification of the region.
Desertification and erosion are both concerns.
In part 1, we learned that regenerative agriculture, a system of chemical-free organic farming incorporating diverse crop rotations, cover crops, and minimal tilling, not only regenerates the soil, but also restores air and water quality, ecosystems, and human health. On today's program, we'll learn that regenerative farming could play an even more critical role. Many scientists now estimate that we could reduce or even halt climate change by regenerating the planet's soil. Healthy soil has an immense capacity to sequester and store carbon. In fact, it's estimated that Earth's soil contains 3 times more carbon than the atmosphere. Let's learn about how carbon is stored in the ground. During photosynthesis, plants absorb CO2 from the atmosphere. While they return some of the CO2 to the air through respiration, most is stored in the plants and then released through their roots. Billions of microorganisms feed on this carbon, keeping it in the soil's organic matter. This sequestered carbon can remain stored for thousands of years or be quickly released back into the atmosphere, depending on how the soil is managed. Conventional farming, with its constant tilling of the land and heavy reliance on chemicals, breaks down organic matter in the soil and releases much of the stored carbon, thus contributing to climate change. In contrast, regenerative farming increases the amount of organic matter in the soil, enabling the earth to sequester and store more CO2 for long periods of time. In an interview with the CBC, Evan Fraser, director of the Arrel Food Institute at the University of Health Canada, said, "Regenerative farming practices really do turn fields from being a source of greenhouse gas emissions into what's called a carbon sink." With careful management, farmers can become our front line in combating climate change, rather than being a big contributor to it. According to numerous scientific reports, the raising of animal people livestock is one of the significant causes creating more greenhouse gas emissions than all forms of transportation combined. The United Nations Environment Programme, or UNEP, 2021 report states that a shift toward a plant-based diet is essential for keeping global warming below the critical 1.5 degree global temperature limit, set in the 2015 Paris Agreement. However, some recent studies are taking the UNEP concept further by examining the effect of shifting to a plant-based lifestyle while simultaneously moving toward regenerative agriculture. In the 2022 study, The Land of Plenty, a nature-positive pathway to decarbonize UK agriculture and land use, commissioned by the World Wildlife Fund UK or WWF UK, the impact of changing our food system while simultaneously regenerating the soil was examined. The report concluded, unless we radically change how our land is used and what we eat, we will not be able to tackle climate change. The study recommends that UK governments, retailers, and food service industries encourage a rapid shift to the plant-based lifestyle. It also calls on the UK government to provide financial incentives for farmers transitioning to regenerative vegan agriculture. The report concludes that a widespread shift to the plant-based lifestyle and regenerative farming could dramatically reduce the UK's greenhouse gas or GHG emissions and have the same effect as removing 900,000 cars from the road.
Bodhisattvas and bhikshus who practice purity will not even step on grass in the pathway. Even less will they pull it up with their hand. How can one with great compassion pick up the flesh and blood of living beings and proceed to eat his fill? Bodhisattvas means spiritual practitioners. Bhikshus means monks. Surangama Sutra, Buddhism.
In a peer-reviewed study conducted by the French National Study for Scientific Research, or CNRS, and published in the June 18, 2021 edition of One Earth, scientists studied the effects of changing both the EU's food and agricultural systems. The report concluded that by shifting to the plant-based diet, regenerative agriculture, a balanced coexistence between agriculture and the environment could be reached. The report added that through this combined approach, the EU would not only substantially reduce its GHG emissions from agriculture, but also be completely food self-sufficient by 2050, even with a growing population. Another study published in the February 2022 peer-reviewed journal PLOS examined the impact on climate change of transforming both the food and agriculture systems. Raising billions of animal people in the livestock industry requires an enormous amount of land. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO, estimates that approximately 60% of all the arable land on Earth is used either for animal people livestock grazing or growing crops to feed them. The February 2022 studies headed by Patrick Brown, Professor Emeritus at Stanford University and CEO of Impossible Foods, and Professor Michael Eisen from the University of California, Berkeley, modeled the impact of globally phasing out animal people livestock raising over 15 years and planting trees on the land formerly used by this industry. The study estimated that through these changes, the soil could sequester 68% of the world's CO2 emissions, concluding that this is the best and most immediate chance to reduce climate change. Professor Brown says, I would encourage scientists to look at the results. I think they'll realize that this is the biggest opportunity to turn back the clock on climate change that we are ever going to have, and we should jump on it. While the study by Professors Brown and Eisen estimated that regenerative farming could slow climate change, the Rodale Institute, a research organization of organic agriculture, estimates that the impact of change into vegan, regenerative agriculture could be even higher. In September 2020, the Institute published a white paper report entitled Regenerative Agriculture and the Soil Carbon Solution. The report states that a global shift to vegan, organic, regenerative farming could feed the world, improve soil health, and increase biodiversity. It's also the key to halting climate change. The Rodale study estimates that a global shift to the organic, vegan, regenerative agricultural system could enable such a dramatic drawdown of atmospheric carbon dioxide that it might effectively halt climate change. The report concludes that global adoption of regenerative practices across both grasslands and arable acreage could sequester more than 100% of current anthropogenic emissions of CO2. Our most beloved Supreme Master Ching Hai often reminds us that global adoption of the vegan lifestyle and a shift to organic regenerative farming will feed the world, halt climate change, and save our Earth.
If all people, all the farmers, and all the arable land on our planet turn into vegan farming method, then first, immediately, 40% of the CO2 will be absorbed by the farming method alone already, 40% of it. They already have the land readily available, and to switch to organic farming will restore the health of the soil, which has been depleted by conventional growing practices. Studies have even shown that organic farming method, besides using less energy and reducing carbon emissions, are more financially profitable than conventional ones. With the world food shortage continues to worsen, more people are going hungry every day. So if we just stop the animal people raising practices and turn instead to growing organic vegan food for humans, everyone in the world will benefit and we can save our planet. If we don't feed all the corns and all the cereals and vegetables to the animal people, all the food that we produce right now could feed 2 billion people already. So there's not even worry about food shortage. And then we have a better future, a better conscience, and our planet will have a bright future. If everyone turned to organic vegan diet and organic vegan farming.
Our deepest gratitude goes to Supreme Master Ching Hai for sharing her far-sighted wisdom. We pray that farmers and citizens around the globe quickly shift organic regenerative lifestyle for the benefit of humanity and our planet.
Don't be vegan. All the low IQ people refuse it.
Honest viewers, thank you for joining us today. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for Pavel Durov, a bright and daring entrepreneur. May you continue to grow in wisdom and compassion through the grace of the divine.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/PE.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/PE.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/PE.
మా కార్యక్రమాలు అందజేస్తున్నాయి అనేక భాషలలో. దయచేసి చూడండి suprememastertv.com/schedule మరియు suprememastertv.com/PG.